Dear brothers and sisters, let us continue the book reading Voicereal written by Babuji Maharaj, chapter Afflictions. Sufferings and miseries have their own place in life. Everyone has his share of it. Even sages of eminence had their own. Had there been no sufferings in the world, man's thought could never have gone up to the reverse side of it, that is, the bliss. Thus, man's affliction offers him inducement for finding out means of emancipation. In other words, they serve as stimulants. We know that coal can be transformed into diamond. That means that a change in the setup gives things a new appearance. A thing becomes useful and pleasing when its setup is right, while it becomes painful and ugly if it is wrong. The same is the case with afflictions. Our discriminative faculty is so much overshadowed by the hankerings of the mind that we have become quite blind to the real values of things concerned within life. As a matter of fact, everything in life is for our ultimate good. Only we have to learn their proper utilization so as to turn them to our advantage. But unfortunately, we have all along been going the wrong way, led by the misdirected tendencies of the mind. We have been taking a crude view of everything, corresponding with the baser inclinations of the mind. Everything has gone on growing denser and grosser to our view. The heart and the brain, being influenced thereby, began to contract the same defect. Covering after covering began to set in, obscuring reality from view. This will go on till accidentally a time may come when a gush of reality, having blown into the heart, may cause an awakening within. It is then that man comes to a proper understanding of the real values and feels induced to resort to mending his disturbed state. Here, Babuji Maharaj is saying about the sufferings and miseries of this world. Sufferings and miseries has their own place in this human life. Everybody is suffering and everyone is having their own miseries. So, everyone in this world has their share of it. Even sages of eminence had their own miseries and sufferings. If, suppose, just think, there is no misery or suffering in this world. Have ever man think about the other side of it? That is the bliss. Because sufferings are there, miseries are there, so everyone want to see the other side of it, that everyone want to lead their life happily and blissfully, isn't it? So, man's afflictions, actually, it offers him inducement for finding out means of emancipation. Each and every individual struggles to overcome his miseries or sufferings, and he want to see the glowing day in his life with happiness and bliss. So, in other words, these miseries will serve us as stimulants. Without these miseries, we cannot even peep into or try to peep into that side of bliss. So it helps us to taste that state of happiness or bliss. And we know that coal can be transformed into diamond with little change in their structure. So because both are same, structurally both are same, but little modification has to be done. If it has been done, then that coal can be transformed into diamond. So what is the value of coal and what is the value of diamond? Similarly, if we change the setup of our miseries or sufferings, then definitely we can enjoy the fruit of our happiness and bliss. See, a thing becomes useful and pleasing when its setup is right, just like a diamond. It is very precious because it has been set in a proper way, in a pleasing way. But whereas of coal, its structure is little in a different way, so it is not having that value what the diamond is having. Similarly, if we arrange or place all our sufferings or miseries in a proper setup or way, then definitely it helps us in our spiritual progress. If at all we are unable to manage it properly, then it becomes very much painful and ugly because of our wrongdoing. So our discriminative faculty is so much overshadowed by the hankering of the mind that we have totally become blind to real values of things concerned with our life. See, for example, if any person gets fever, Babaji Maharaj says that during the process of fever, all the cells of the body will rejuvenate, or some cells will die and new cells will born. So our body gets rejuvenated. If we take this suffering in this way, by thinking properly like this, yes, we are getting the new cells and we are getting rejuvenated. All the toxins are going out of our body because of through this fever. Then we will be placed comfortably even under the suffering of our fever also. So this is how we have to take. If any problem comes in our life, yes, this is for our betterment only. Everything that happens in my life is for my ultimate good only. If we start thinking like this, definitely those difficulties or miseries or sufferings will never affect us. We will be just overcoming all those hurdles with no time. And only we have to learn how to utilize them and to convert them to our advantage. This is the wisdom. This is the human wisdom Or we can say that this is the godly wisdom. I can say that instead of human wisdom, I can say that this is a godly wisdom where every human being can adopt. But unfortunately, what happens, though we have all along been going the wrong way, led by the misdirected tendencies of the mind, we complain about our sufferings and miseries to God, and we question Him that, oh God, you are not merciful because you showered these many sufferings and miseries to me. Why you did like this to me? Like that we will start questioning God. And even some people start disliking God also because He has given all these sufferings. He is not merciful. Why I should worship Him? This will be the tendency of some people. And we have been taking a crude view of everything, corresponding with the baser inclination of the mind. Because we think that whatever we like, that should happen in our life. Whatever we feel good, that should happen in our life. If something goes against our wish or as desired by us, then the suffering starts. Because of this tendency, we started growing denser and grosser the sanskaras within us. Because of our grosser way of thinking and deep-rooted sanskaras, the heart and brain even, it started influencing us in this direction only. Because they are influenced thereby began to contract the same defect. So with this, the covering after covering of sanskaras and grossness began to set in, which totally obstructed the reality from our view. If suppose accidentally, if a person starts thinking about the reason behind the miseries and sufferings, and then if he starts realizing it, or he awakens within himself to know the reality about it, then he comes to a proper understanding of the real value of it, and then feels induced to resort to mending his disturbed state of mind. Because when he starts feeling that all the miseries and sufferings are for his betterment, then its outlook will change completely. Let us read the next paragraph. When man first assumed his physical form, he brought with him the thing opposite to the real nature of his being. That means both the opposites were intertwined to give it a proper shape. It appeared in the form of an outburst similar to that caused by the contact of fire and water. When supplemented by the flow of air, it went on smoldering and increased the force of outburst. The outburst is nothing but the action of the force coming in contact with the soul, thus exhibiting a display of the elements. Reality was lost sight of. Just imagine what the reverse use of things finally resulted in. We took into account neither the cause nor the effect thereof to trace out the origin of this degradation. Here Babuji Maharaj is explaining how the degradation of human life has happened, has gone to the origin of our life. He's explaining that when man first assumed his physical form, what he brought? He brought with him the thing opposite to the real nature of his being. See, this is the basic cause of our miseries. Because when we assumed our physical form or we born in this world, we brought along with us the opposite things to the real nature of our being. So after this, what happened? The opposites were intertwined or wired to give it a proper shape. So and then it slowly started appearing in the form of an outburst, which is very much similar to that which has been caused by the contact of fire and water. And when it is supplemented by the flow of air, it increases the force of that outburst. So this outburst is nothing but the action of the force coming in contact with the soul, thus exhibiting a display of the elements. By this, the formation of our material world started, and man started thinking that all these things belongs to him. So to achieve all these things, he started struggling, and when he could succeed in that, he will be happy, and when he could not succeed, he will be unhappy. Like this, the chain of happiness and unhappiness, sufferings and miseries has started. Because of this, what happened? The reality was lost sight of. Just now we have to imagine what is the effect of our reverse use of things. It resulted into sufferings and miseries. So we took into account neither the cause nor the effect thereof to trace out the origin of this degradation. Simply, we are suffering and we are welcoming the miseries and we are complaining about our life, instead of thinking what is the base cause for this or root cause for this. Why I am suffering? Why I have to suffer? What are the things that are making me to suffer? Then the way opens up towards the reality. And the layers or coverings what we have made one above the other, those layers slowly they starts getting dissolved or they will vanish. After that, what remains is our real state of condition. So dear brethren, in this satsang, Babuji Maharaj has clarified us the reasons behind our suffering and miseries. Just we have to reverse our thinking and to know the root cause of all these sufferings and to unveil the reality. With this, I conclude today's satsang, and let us know more aspects in the forthcoming satsang. Till then, I take leave. Pranams. Namaste.